for joining me again at the Village Bay Academy, pardon. Due to some of your questions after our previous video on the Ponzi scheme, where I advise people to be very careful before they get involved in any investment. They should consider the security of the investment as well as the return on the investment. So I got to be asked some question offline that what if a business did not turn out to be a Ponzi, but somewhere along the line it became a Ponzi scheme, and if that is actually possible? And my answer is both yes and no. It could happen, and it's that the business that was not intentionally set up to be a Ponzi scheme might end up looking like one. And there are some businesses actually also that are deliberately set up as Ponzi scheme. So come along with me, let me try to explain this, why I said it could be yes and it could be no, depending on the situation, depending on the circumstance. For instance, if a business solicited for funds from the public, from the general public, and it so happened that the solicitations yielded amounts beyond what the promoters were looking for, where there is an incidence of oversubscription, in which case investors brought in more money than the promoter of the business had envisaged. First, it is capable of destabilizing their plans because they don't have plan for the amount of money they brought in. So because of that, they have to probably change their plans or change their strategies. Or, on the alternative, they refund the excess subscription to the latter investors and explain to them, oh sorry, we have had more than enough that we bargained for, so we could not continue with you on this particular project. If we have other projects, we will let you know, and thank you for your patronage, or something in that region. However, the usual occurrence is that, okay, the promoter will say, oh, this lot of money is coming in, let us utilize it. And that may be the beginning of a problem for the business. First, they may lose focus of the original plan. And if they lose focus of the original plan, the excess money, they may go on a spending spree, acquiring what they don't need. And thirdly, that may lead to a mismatch of investment. For instance, if you solicited for an investment cycle of between 3 to 9 months, and the proposal is oversubscribed to, and you now decided to use the excess fund to acquire fixed asset, fixed property, that though they may be interest yielding fixed asset, but because the income from that fixed asset will not be able to meet the needs for the short cycle investment that your investors have envisaged before they invested in the project. So if your investment cycle is the current one, which something within 1 year, and you now use the excess money to acquire property that is long term in nature, yes, income will be generated, but that income will not be sufficient to pay your investor as and when due, and this may lead to a crisis. So, and when you get to a point whereby you are beginning to find a way of cover up or a way of escape from the burden that comes from such pressure, because at the expiration of the investment cycle, the investor will come and we expect that you pay them with interest, their principal and their interest, And if you are not able to do that, first you panic, because when the time is nearing that, oh, I may not be able to meet up with these obligations, then some business owners or some promoters of business will begin to devise means, something that we call in accounting teaming and leading. They devise means of bearing the expected returns to the investors. And when they do that, some can even fake force majeure, creating some alibi where they could not meet the obligation. Some of those alibi might not be true, they might not be correct. It is just an attempt to see how they can cover up their tracks, having done a mismatch of investment. So my general advice, like, if your business is oversubscribed, which is not unusual, the most honorable thing to do is to refund the excess. Return the excess to the investors and explain to them, oh, sorry, the proposal was oversubscribed, so we have no choice than to return your funds. Yes, somebody may also say, okay, what if they expanded their scope to accommodate the excess funds? Well, if it is possible, that may be very good. But in practice, usually, because there is a pressure from money, whether we like it or we don't like it, the pressure that comes from money may not enable the promoters of business to think in that regard, so of expanding the scope of the original business, which that expansion must still be in line with the original business idea, not something differently completely. So if it is something different, then it's no longer an expansion of scope. So it's like you are dabbling into another thing that you actually did not plan very well for. So that could create a lot of issues as well. So those are the possibility of a business that was intentionally set up as a good business, but because of oversubscription and mismanagement of excesses, the business can take on the nature of a Ponzi at the end of the period, especially when they are not able to meet up their obligations. That is in this instance, I would say yes. Also, where I would say no is that there are some businesses that are deliberately set up as Ponzi from the beginning. The intention of such promoters is to fleece people of their hard-earned income. And usually this is especially a business that is not based on any fundamentals, or a business that is based on the psychology of the street. What do I mean by that? So some schemers know what the language of the street, they understand the language of the street. They understand what they will speak that will bring out money from people. So when they speak this language very well, they can mobilize funds beyond your imagination. So those are the ones that they set up from the beginning to defraud the people. So the next question will be, how can you differentiate between the two? Apart from the issue of trying to examine and evaluate the fundamentals behind such a business venture, there is seemingly no other way you can know. It is there's a gamble. So it's a gambling, kind of. And again, I want to also let people know that any investment can go bad. No matter how carefully you have planned, no matter how carefully you have done that, you've crossed your T, you dot your I's. Any business, any investment can go bad. And there's so many reasons for that, because nobody has a capability to predict how tomorrow will be. And remember, whatever proposal is being made is made against the future that is not unknown to anybody. So any investment can go bad. So what are the precautions for investors? Number one, let the buyers beware. You have to beware of what you are putting your money into. And another advice I will always give is that don't put money that you cannot lose, you are not ready to lose in any investment, especially short-term investment, when you are investing with somebody that is not known to you and it's not an institution. When you are investing with an individual that is not known, that even it is known to you, but it's not an institution, that because the level of remedies that are available with an individual is very limited. So that precaution is there. Again, don't invest funds that are not yours. If you know the money is not your own money, it's not from your own savings, don't invest it. It is very risky and you can burn your fingers. So those are the precautions I will give to those who want to invest in anything at all. So how do you differentiate between a genuine business and a Ponzi scheme? Like I said, it's a bit difficult. It's a bit difficult because most guys that set out to do Ponzi, they can be very smart. Sometimes they are smarter than the street. So they leverage on the intelligence of the street and they manipulate the intelligence of the street, and they get what they want to get. So the best caution you can have is to look at their fundamentals. If there are no fundamentals, like all this investment, I say, okay, send 100,000 and in 48,000 you collect double the amount. To me, that doesn't make sense because there's nothing fundamental in that. They're not telling you they're selling any product or rendering any service. And if you are selling product, how many products can you sell within 48 hours and get double the amount you've invested? It's like people are just exchanging money, whatever. So that of course, a reasonable investor should know that, look, this is a no-go area, for me, for the person. So be careful. Let the buyers be aware. Be aware, you be aware of what you are putting your money into. Ask advice, seek good advice. Yes, I know that sometimes when you seek advice, you can also get wrong advice, and that is how the life is. It's not good, but that's the reality of life that we live in. Some can give bad advice, and like I said the other time, the so-called social media influencers, many of them don't know anything about investment. So if you listen to them, you are listening to them at your own risk. So today I'm talking about the part of business promoters. If you ask for public funds and your solicitation is oversubscribed to, your proposal is oversubscribed to, please take the noble part and refund the excesses. And those who deliberately go out to create Ponzi scheme, I can only appeal to your moral side, your conscience, if it is there, or if it is still working, that it is unfair to just fleece people of their hard-earned money. Many of the people, your soft targets, they are vulnerable people, and some of them, these are all they have worked for all their lives. Imagine a pensioner that is just has no energy, has no business acumen, has no experiences outside the work he has done, and you fleece him of his money, of his sweat. It is just unfair. I just only appeal to your moral side. Please stop it. Stop this. Stop this. Putting people in hardship. It's not good. It's not fair. It's not just. So for you, investors, please look before you leap. Again, I will say, all that glitters is not good. Think about security of your investment as much as you think about the returns of your investment. And if you are, as a business promoter, your business is originally genuine, and you get more than you bargain for in terms of subscription, and you don't know what to do, seek advice or return the excess fund. You won't die if you do that. It's better to explain to the investor, oh, sorry, we cannot take more than this number, than say, oh, this is money, this is a windfall, and think that you can manipulate things before the period of refund comes. It may rank for you, and if you have any reputation, your reputation will be damaged altogether. So I think this is the other side of the coin, and I thought I should present the other side of the coin. Yes, a genuine business, may start that started very well, may end up like with the similitude of a Ponzi scheme. Not necessarily because it was so planned, but because the situation that they encountered along the line, they didn't have the moral courage or the requisite knowledge to manage that situation, and it turned out to be what it turned out to be. So until I come your way for another video, thank you for those who have subscribed. Thank you for those who are watching but they have not yet subscribed. Please just take that simple step and subscribe, so that as new videos are dropping, you will be notified. And of course, if you subscribe, press the notification button as well, so that you can get adequately informed when we drop new videos. And sharing is love. Share our videos with your friends and encourage them to subscribe. Together we can do this.